I press go live. Okay.
Yes, we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, welcome back to Voices of Courage Asia, our YouTube channel, and our series Courage to Be You. Okay, so Anita, look like we are in sync.
No, we look really professional. Where are you? Tell me more.
Oh yes, I'll tell you a little bit more in a short while. So to our audience out there, welcome back. So we are going to continue with this series on Courage to Be You, as we were talking about, this whole blueprint of taking the courage to be you, looking at the different domains that are all together in this blueprint. There are 9 domains and then 7 values, as well as 3 attributes. Looking at the different domains that are all together. I'm hearing an echo. There are 9 domains and then 7 values, as well as 3 attributes. Yeah, why am I hearing an echo? Yeah, sorry about the technical. Okay, because we are trying out something new here. Okay, I think it's good now. Facebook background. Okay, probably that's the Facebook. Facebook has a 5 to 6 second delay. I see. Yeah, learn something new. Okay, yeah, going back to our Courage to Be You and the Courage Blueprint, as I was saying, we have 9 domains, all right, 9 domains of our life to look into, to address, and then the 7 values and the 3 attributes. So today, we are going to zoom into the body. Remember the last episode, Anita, we were talking about you as an individual. We have three parts of us, right? The body, the mind, or the soul, and the spirit. All right, so looking at the body, today we want to focus all about the body. So we have 2 special guests. Okay, shall we invite them on board right now?
No, let's say this. We got one that really emphasized on the body. The other one emphasized on the mind and the body and the spirit. So we got one physical and one mentally stimulating. So Lilian, invite our 2 wonderful women.
Okay, here we go. Right. First, Natalie. Hi, Natalie. Welcome back to
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Anita, for your wonderful introduction. Now everybody thinks I'm only body.
No, but Natalie is like such a... But I have to be nice to Natalie. You know why? Because, end of November, we'll be having Natalie for a very special event. Later, Lilian will share. So I got to be very nice to her. So I'm going to bribe her now.
You already tried.
Yeah, and next we are going to have Suzanne. Suzanne, hello, welcome. Welcome to our channel.
Thank you for the invitation,
Yeah, Suzanne is also our very special guest. She's also a Women of Courage Asia community leader. And so look at the background, look at my background, and this is where I am right now at her studio, and she's actually sitting right next to me. Yeah, Suzanne, would you like to introduce yourself and what you do?
Right, I'm the co-founder of NOB Private Limited, and we are a content marketing company. So what we do is that we create inspiring, compelling video stories to connect brand messages, to connect brands with the audiences, their needs, their aspirations, and their business. So yeah, that's what we do. And we are also into live streaming as well. And online training and helping people to create their very own video stories.
Right. And how about Natalie? Natalie, come introduce yourself. What do you do? What's your expertise?
Hey everyone, Natalie here. What's up? It's a beautiful day. Okay, I am a wellness resilient coach, and also that I started as a dance fitness instructor. So basically, I'm teaching dance classes, and also right now I do life coaching as well.
Wow, so you have come a long way, isn't it?
Yes.
In this industry, into the fitness.
I have been in this industry for 7 years, but for life coaching, I'm just starting, and also it's a huge learning process which I'm thoroughly enjoying. So yeah, very happy.
So both ladies are, superpower ladies, powerful ladies, and they are very busy in their own field and expertise. So our question would be like, how do they actually take care of themselves, especially in the area of their body? We have to be holistic, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Yeah. But today, it's all about body. Yeah. So we would like to, in the last episode, we talked a little bit of the overview. We talk about, what comes to health, we talk about genes, talk about diet, exercise, sleep, and so on and so forth. Right. And then we also mentioned that it's not just about that, it is also other people will look into appearance, their style and dressing, or personal grooming. And even one more step into mannerism, habits, or body language. So today we want to focus on these few areas. Okay? Yeah, so both of you are in the hot seat. We want to hear from you. Share with our audience, how do you take care of yourself? Which are the areas that you place a lot of focus on and why or why not? Yeah. Okay, so Natalie, you want to go first since you are the expert, or
Not expert, but I can share my experience. Actually, coincidentally, another friend who's also a life coach and a physiotherapist was asking me almost the same question. He was asking me that, how do you ensure that you're fit in every class? I'm like, wow, okay. So I list out a few, which I'm going to share with you right now, is that first of all, I look into my mental space. Every time before a lesson, I will have lesson plan. I kind of have an idea what I want to do on that day, what I want to torture my students with. That's what they like to call. My classes are torturing sessions. And then, so building on that, beside the lesson plan, then I will definitely look at the students' energy on that day. If I'm able to give them something more intense, or if everyone is very tired, then I'll do some relaxing work. As for my own mental health, is that I will pray, and then I will declutter my mind. I will, if I know that I have any trigger points, then I was like, okay, I'm not going to look at it right now because it's going to affect my mood for my class. I'm going to deal with it after class.
right.
So I will protect my mental space. And then for health, which is ongoing, which is physical, I will try to eat more healthy. And also that actually during CB, I put on like 6 to 8 kilos and nobody believes it. Everybody's like, what? See, Anita, look at her face. Nobody believe I actually put on like 6 to 8 kg. But the thing is that because I'm very short and I'm very petite, so that 6 to 8 kg is very heavy on me. I realized that when I come back to class, I was lethargic, there's no energy. And I must admit that during CB, I eat a lot of things that I usually normally don't eat because I was like, what the heck? I just want to enjoy myself this time. I want to have a good rest because I feel that I deserve it. I haven't been resting properly for the past few years when I teach. So I had prata, I had this, I had supper, I had everything. So that's why all the weight piles on. And I'm not young anymore, so my metabolism rate slowed down. So during when go back to class, I also realized that I'm not in a very good physical place because my students is like they're very polite. They dare not tell me I put on weight. But when I lose weight, like back then was in July, right? But now when I lost weight, I just tell them, I just look at the mirror and then I say, I think I lost weight. And it was a resounding, yes, you lost weight. So I know I put on weight. And also all my pants, without any elastic, is actually very, I can't wear them. Seriously, I cannot even pull up my tie. So I know I was like, no, I need to do something about it because I don't like to be unhealthy. So I start to get myself a PT, a personal trainer, to work with me because I also have some knee issue. And also my trainer came out with a very simple plan. So I start by watching my diet. And also I have bloating issues. It's ongoing since like a few years ago. So because of my PT, I become more mindful. Then I will so I already whatever she told me is already I know. I just did not consciously do it more. So right now the physical part is that I'm watchful about my diet, because mainly bloating issue is making me very uncomfortable. And when you look at me in person, right, it's like you will never find me so-called chubby or fleshy. But I always like I'm pregnant. I always look I'm pregnant for 3-4 months. So bloating is actually a very real issue. And I call it food baby. So every time it's like and I'm very sensitive. So I'm very image conscious, or rather I'm very sensitive. So and every time my student look at me, I'm like, okay, I'll quickly suck in my stomach. You know, that kind of thing. So the physical food wise, and I'm happy to say I've lost like 1 kilo or 2. I feel that I'm more energetic. I am lighter. So I work with my diet. But of course everyone have they are different. Some might not have bloating issues. They because I have one student who's very fit and her stomach is very flat. So I guess she doesn't have any bloating issues. Then the rest might have. So I do work on my mental space, and then also my physical health as well. Yeah.
So you always starts with the mental. Yeah, you start with the mind first. Yeah, and then
There is no hard and fast rule which one comes first. There's no sequence. Because health part, right? Eating right is ongoing.
Yep.
And I can say that I understand better my now what my students are facing, because in the past I'm like, when my student asks me, so how do you become so slim, and I'll always tell them, don't eat. So they're like, huh? No, then I tell, no, I'm just joking. Okay, you have to cut salt, cut oil, cut sugar, cut pastry, cut chocolate, all the blah blah blah. But because I don't really fancy those stuff, so I have no problem. But you can see the horror on your face is like, what? I cannot do this. Then why do I live? Why do I live on this earth? See, Anita, bacha me.
there are people out there, who need to eat or they eat to live, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Two
Yes.
different. Yeah.
I happen to be the eat to live kind. I think my students are all live to eat.
Yeah. How about you, Suzanne? Like, how do you take care of your own health? In the area of our body.
I think I just want to tell a story to illustrate that. There was a time in my life when I was extremely unhealthy. I still remember when I was in my teens, I had a lot of pimple breakout on my face, and it always, gave me a lot of problem, a lot of stress, because I had to go out to school, go to work with pimples, with acne on my face, and that is not pleasant at all. And I remember when I was working, there was a time in my life when I was in a desk-bound job. That was 10 years in my past job, 95 job. And I realized that I was actually gaining a lot of weight. Yeah. And it wasn't good at all, because every time when I take long distance walks from the workplace to the bus stop or MRT, I would pant very easily. And especially when I had to walk up flights of stairs, I would feel miserably. I won't be able to continue straight ahead like that. I have to actually stop for every 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and then try to get my breath in, try to rest. After that, continue walking. And what happened was that few years, the last 4 years of my life, I actually signed up for a gym membership, and I've been going to the gym quite regularly. But I then realized that it's not a very holistic way of exercising, because you're confined in space. You didn't get to breathe fresh air. So I stopped my gym membership altogether and decided to, in the last year of my 9 to 5 job, I decided to go for walks. So what I did was that I started to plan a routine. Start at the morning. In the morning time, I will go for 1 hour walk from my flat to the MRT, Punggol MRT, and then back.
Wow.
And what happened was that after about 4 months, 5 months of that routine, I realized something amazing. I used to weigh about 66 kg before I started this morning routine, but after 5 months, I actually dropped to 56 kg.
Wow.
10 kg. And and the other thing I did was that I make sure I have food intake at least 2 to 3 times a day, every day, because I feel that when I have this in my diet all the time, right, I religiously follow this routine, right, I find that I'm able to feel better, I feel lighter. Yeah, yeah, and that's great because it actually helps me to helps my blood circulation, and it also gives me more clarity of mind in whatever I do and think. Yeah, and also for my acne problem, what I did was that I think that was about 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 to 7 years ago, I started to cut away all the fried stuff. No more potato chips, no more fritters, no more sweet stuff. If I want to give myself a sweet treat, that would be one ice cream per week.
Oh,
Just
okay,
one ice
that's a
cream per
treat
week.
for yourself.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
maybe one cream cake per week. That's it. That's a rare treat for me. Yeah, so I think that helps because it actually helps me to it actually when I actually did this, right, I realized that I started to see improvements on my face. I'm beginning to have less outbreaks for my acne, and also I feel fresher. I used to have this thin feeling on my face, and I used to have very dark patches on my face. But with this, when I went onto this regime of eating, I started to feel better. I started to have less acne outbreak. I started to feel brighter as well, and that helped me to also lift up my confidence. Right.
I think what we eat does really play a very important part.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there is a saying go that you are what you eat or something like that, right? But I know when the audience hear, cut down fried stuff and all that, it's like, oh no. Yeah. I mean, those of us who don't really fancy fried stuff, I mean, it's easier. Yeah. But those who really love fried stuff, this can really be a challenge. Yeah. But cutting down the amount does help. You don't totally deprive yourself from it, but you can always cut down slowly, progressively, right? So what I'm hearing is that eating does play an important part in your self-care, taking care of your own body, as well as, or even though because you're a busy businesswoman, and may not spend a lot of amount of time in exercising regime, but you do put in the effort. Like just now you said you walk, that those are movements that actually helps in building up the body as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that I feel is very, very important is sleep. Yeah.
Sleep.
I try to make sure I have at least 6 hours of sleep per day. Yeah, so that I don't. Otherwise, I feel that when I cut short of the sleep hours, I tend to have migraines and headaches, and that's not helping me in my daily work. And that's actually important to me, especially because in our field of work, in creating videos, we sometimes have to put in a lot of hours. Sometimes we have to work till past midnight in creating a show and doing all the filming and editing. So having enough sleep actually helps me to refresh my mind and keeps me always in a very alert position. Yeah, alert state of mind. Whenever I start.
I just want to ask Natalie, this thing called sleep, SLEEP. Do you concur with Suzanne about in terms of the physical body that sleep is important besides what you say, diet, cutting off? What are your thoughts about it?
Yes. Yes, it is important because there's also studies showing that lack of sleep will make you put on weight. And also, if you don't sleep early, like the millennials or youngsters nowadays who like to sleep in the morning, they are basically like an owl or vampire. They sleep in the morning and then at night they are very awake. Their body system, right, the organs actually age much faster. And also, when you are up at night, you got nothing to do, right? You're watching Netflix, you're binging, and then you got nothing to do. What you do? You go to the fridge. Yes. You start to eat. And that's where you start to pile on a lot of unknown calories and everything. Maybe to you it's like, but I just had one cheap one. Yeah, right. one chip accumulates. I'm talking about you, Anita. No, I'm just kidding. So yes, sleep is very important, and also try to sleep before. In the Chinese physician, right? The Chinese health, the physician will tell you try to sleep like before certain time because your organs start to repair itself, and which is true. And if you
11,
notice that,
They say about 11
yeah.
o'clock, right? Before 11 or something like that.
you have to be asleep before 11. So 11 to 1 they repair something, 1 to 3 they repair another organ, 3 to 5
Everybody, I'm going to
another organ,
sleep
so on
now.
and so forth.
I'm going to sleep now.
So you need to go into that routine of getting into bed, getting to sleep mode,
Correct.
much earlier.
Yeah,
So
correct.
Lilian,
Yes, it's true. So that you keep your organs actually because inside is what we cannot see. So besides eating healthy and all that, right? Sleep does repair your organ. So it actually helps to keep your organs clean and young, and you can actually age slower. Aging is, it's a given, but you can age earlier or age slower. So if you can, couple with a healthy lifestyle, that you will definitely, delay the progress of aging. And of course, if you can have no stress, then that's the best. But then I think that's quite a tall order. I don't think anyone can have no stress. Yeah.
Lilian, what time did you go to sleep last night, dear?
Sorry?
Lilian, what time did you sleep last night?
Me?
Mm.
Oh, now you're finding the error at me.
Let's ask Lilian, what time did she sleep last night?
I can't remember.
Say 1:30?
Probably.
Because I was with you.
But the thing is that did you have enough sleep? You can sleep late,
Right.
but if you after 8 hours and you wake up, that's fine. Because some people is like they have very little sleep.
Mm.
Some people can now, but they are actually wasting whatever is in the future. You get what I'm trying to say? So they are actually digging from their future bank. So by the
Okay.
time when they reach a certain age, right, then they will start to feel it coming in. Yeah. So you will have to pay back everything that you dig from your future bank. And it's always so it's actually you can sleep late technically, but you need to have enough rest. So I think the main point is having enough rest. That's more important. And also a quality sleep, undisturbed sleep. If you are having like the whole night, maybe you sleep for 12 hours, but in these 12 hours you toss and turn this and that, you'll wake up even more tired. So that is not a good sleep.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so quality sleep. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
6 to 8 hours of quality sleep. That's an important part in your well-being as well as managing stress, daily stress and pressure as well. Yeah.
Correct.
So Suzanne,
Yes.
just now I heard you mention that you ensure that you have 6 hours of sleep every day, is it?
That's right. Yes.
Wow, that's very disciplined. Yeah.
So what I do is that before I went to sleep, at least 1 hour before that, I make sure that I go to the toilet and do what I need to do. Yeah. So one thing that I learned from my friends is that before you sleep, try not to put in too much liquids.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll end up having to wake up in the middle of the night and go to sleep and then go to the toilet. Yeah. So that will actually break the sleep pattern.
Right. So Natalie, I want to ask you one question. Do you have like a simple framework or something like that to help our audience to as a guide, because there are so many different components, right, in taking care of our body, our health, our well-being. So specifically in the area of our health, in the body area, do you have any, advice or tips or something that you can share with us? That's easy to
yes,
remember?
I do.
Ah,
Yes, I do. And it's very easy. It's just a 3-letter word. Not 4, but 3. It's actually 3.
no worries.
Okay, it's called LED, not the light.
LED.
It's not led by Natalie. It's called LED. L stands for lifestyle, E stands for exercise, and D stands for diet. So it's LED. As simple as that.
Okay, that's easy to remember.
It's easy to remember, yes.
Yeah. So when you talk about lifestyle, what does that encompass?
Of course, try not to have stress. Minimize your stress. I think what we can do is to minimize your stress, especially if you are a person who get uptight, you get stressed out very easily, you always want your way, then maybe you have to look into that. You have to do an evaluation on is there a deeper issue behind all this surface manifestation.
Right.
And then lifestyle is that you also need to take care of your mental health. You need to know what you put in, because I noticed that, including myself, at times I input rubbish and nonsense unknowingly.
Yeah,
Especially when you see that, yeah, we all see that, we're guilty of that. Especially when you see Facebook, the minute you open up Facebook, there's a lot of negative stuff. So it might be good to take a break from social media for a while. And also the first thing is you wake up is you don't check your phone immediately unless you have a meeting or whatever, but maybe try not to put your phone beside your bed the night before, or when you wake up, don't immediately, the minute you open your eyes, you start to take out your phone and check. Yeah, so that's part of the lifestyle. And also, declutter your mind, declutter your house. Also, in Chinese, there's this called 断舍离. So you need to know how to do that in all aspects of life. 断 means severe. 舍 means give. 离 means separate. To loosely translate, it basically means that we are all hoarders of some sort. Some people hoard clothes. Some people hoard negativity. Some people hoard cookies, and it's like, oh, there's a big sale, I'm going to buy all the toilet paper I can in the world. So we all have some sort of hoarding mentality. You need to always declutter that, because that's part of your lifestyle. And also you need to be conscious of what you put in and what you give out. It's a lot about awareness. So that's lifestyle. And then exercise will be like Suzanne, she make an effort to walk from the MRT to home, right? You can start with that. As I always told my student, for example, especially a newbie who has never go to exercise class before, and when she see all my students, I'm sure the newbie will get very intimidated. It's like, wow, everybody can jump and touch the sky, because that's how she will feel. It's like, why is everyone able to do and I cannot? And she feel overwhelmed, and maybe she feel bad about it. But the thing is that it has nothing to do with her. She has one have to understand that we all start differently. So I always tell my student, if let's say I'm doing 12 jumping jacks, you cannot. You give me 4 good ones. Or 2. Just give me 2 good ones. I don't need the rest. I don't need the other 10, because I'd rather have 2 good ones than 12 not so good ones. Because you're wasting time and effort.
Progressively.
Yeah. Correct, progressively. And also I always tell my students that when you do a certain exercise, you must do with intention. You must know why you're doing it. You're not just going through the motion. That's why a lot of people, when they're in exercise class, they feel that after they attend, like for example, maybe aerobic exercise class for a while, but after 10 years, they never slim down. Why? Because they're so used to it. They go through the motion. They no longer actively activate certain muscle group which they're supposed to activate in the first place. Or people get stagnant is because they have a program. For example, they like a certain high intensity program for very long. So they keep chiong that program for a while. And then after that, they get stagnant. Why? Because that muscle group has already get used to that intensity. They need to switch up their exercise in order to boost up the metabolism rate again, in order for them to give them the boost to reactivate everything again.
So you have L, E, and then you have D, right?
D is diet. Yeah. So, and also exercise, don't just, even if you want to lose weight, don't just keep going for cardio. That's the, I think, common misconception about if I want to lose weight, I must do cardio. Actually, that is not exactly true. Yes, cardio will help you to lose weight. Cardio will build your stamina, your agility and speed. But when you lose weight, what about those loose skin? What's going to do? You need strength. You need strengthening. And sometimes you need a PT as well with weights, because you're so used to your body weight. You need something else, external stimulant, to help you to strengthen that muscle further. So it's always good to always tell my students, it's always good to have one high intensity class, one toning class, and one stretching class, because you need to stretch your muscles. If not, your muscles is very tight in a long period of time, it will snap anytime. So some people, they're like, wow, that day I bend down, I get up, I pull my back. But it always feels like it's a sudden, but it's never a sudden. It's always an accumulation of bad posture or whatever you do. And then suddenly at that point, when you do something, it triggers.
Yeah, I think wow, Nat, I'm sure there's so much more that you can share with us. Like, because you're so passionate, when it comes to talking about your. And for the audience, if you want to learn more from Natalie, actually, she will be one of our facilitator at our upcoming boot camp or Transform with Courage boot camp in November. So we are all looking forward to learn from her and then learn more about her LED. Okay, right. And so thank you so much, Natalie, for sharing so much with us. In the area of lifestyle, in the area of exercise, and then also looking into your eating, your diet, right? So the LED is so easy to remember, right? Now I can just blare it off my yeah. And Suzanne, just one thing very interesting I want to find out more about Suzanne is because you are very focused into storytelling, right? Especially through the medium of video creation, creating the video. So is there one example or one client that you have done that's related to body health and well-being that you just want that you can share, and how was the experience for you, Emmy?
Oh, that's concerning a client who is handling health. I think one client that came off my mind is the one that we did for Eleanor. We've done one for Eleanor when she did her dance routine, cardio, and so in fact, I just want to share with you that going forward, one of the plans that we have in mind is to set up a YouTube channel where we focus on lifestyle. We're going to focus on health, health, where people will be sharing their tips on healthy lifestyle in terms of dancing, in terms of nutrition. So do look out for news on this in our Stories That Matter community page. We're going to share more on that.
Yeah. Before I come back to Suzanne, I just want to throw this question back to Anita. After hearing from both guests, what are some of your thoughts, about this whole issue of, taking care of yourself and your body?
Okay, one word, excuses.
Sum it up. Yeah.
Excuses. It's
Excuses.
all about excuses. If you want to do it, you can. If you don't want to do it, you got 5,000 excuses. So starting is difficult, but you give yourself a good excuse, you will start. So for me, the word is excuses. So I am definitely Natalie is definitely an expert. And then here is Suzanne's practical step of just wanting to just walk half an hour just one way and then another half an hour coming back and and sleep. I mean, who don't want to sleep more? Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think both of them gave us very great tips. There are great tips that we can actually, very practical tips that we can apply immediately. And for me, I do realize that your why you do what you do is really very critical. Otherwise, like what Anita said, you have lots and lots of excuses, right, to not do it. So always discover and establish your why first. Right. And now we just have a very surprise announcement for all women, because next Wednesday at 12 p.m., two communities, Stories That Matter and Women of Courage Asia, we will be jointly launching a virtual monthly event called Courage Under Fire. And Suzanne and myself will be the host. Right. So Suzanne, can you tell the audience a little bit more?
Yes. So what's going to happen is that every month on Wednesday lunchtime from October to February, successful women from all walks of life will be sharing inspiring stories on how they have overcome the challenges that they face with their families, in the workplace, and even in the business.
Yeah, and we will also be discussing, the support system, right? The support systems and what steps women in these situations, because there are different situations, what they can take to stay resilient and move forward to rebuild their lives, right?
Yes. And then for next week, which is happening on 21st October at 12 p.m., we're going to have three amazing women who will be coming forward to share on how they have overcome the emotional grief and stress in the failing relationships that they went through, and how they have gained the support that they needed and the courage to move on to rebuild their happiness.
Yes. And this program will be broadcast live through our Women of Courage Facebook page and YouTube channel, Women of Courage Asia. So you do keep a lookout for all these announcements on our website, our Facebook page, right? And having said that, on that note, this Voices of Courage Asia channel, we are also dedicating all our time and effort in sharing all these tips, right? And like we mentioned earlier from the beginning, everything that we are sharing is within the domain of the Courage Blueprint. So all these tips and nuggets and experts advice that are coming, they contribute, are all our efforts in adding value to you. So during your lunchtime, while you are eating and munching away, you are also not only feeding your body, but also feeding your mind, right? It's a holistic personal development. So Anita, so what do we have in store for our audience?
Okay, you know very well that you got to be here because Story That Matters, which is run by Suzanne, will be here every month. The links are all below here. But what's interesting coming up on the 19th of October, we have what we call relationship with time. How's your relationship with time? Are you investing it or are you depleting it? So 19th October, we have an expert, of course, Lillian, and also Alverna Cher, a very successful businesswoman. The link is below. And then finally, we have our monthly empowerment meeting happening on a Tuesday, 27th October. Okay. So again, you don't want to miss this because we're having Vivian Yap. Okay, two very special speakers. Vivian, who is a Instagram influencer, almost more than 10,000 followers on Insta. You want to hear how this babe, I'm going to use the word babe, okay? She's a mother of three.
Two.
She's a mother of two, sorry. She's a mother of two, wife of one. She will make people like Natalie very proud, okay? Like, yes, you follow my LED. Okay? So Vivian is going to come and share her expertise, and then we have Lynette, who is our amazing Women of Courage Asia leader. Yeah. She's one of those few that still looks gorgeously beautiful in a face mask, okay? And also one of those that will put Lynette's LED to pride, okay? So
Natalie's LED.
Natalie's LED. So you don't want to miss this. This is happening on the Tuesday, 27 October. 2 streaming. So we're going to go live on Zoom. We're also having it on site.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we're having it on site. This is our second time doing it on site. We are very brave. Okay. No, very, very brave. So
safety measures in place.
Yeah.
Face shield.
Yeah.
All in place.
Yes. So Lida, you want to tell us where the venue is for our monthly empowerment meeting happening on the 27th of October?
Yeah, actually, all the details are in the website. So click on the link. Yeah, womenofcourage.asia. So it's very, very near to Dhoby Ghaut MRT station. It's right smack in town. So it's very convenient. Yeah. So we look forward to seeing you on the 27th of October and on the 19th of October via Zoom, which we talk about how's the relationship with time together with Alverna. So on that note, thank you very much, ladies. Thank you, Natalie, and thank you, Suzanne, for being on our lunchtime chat. Yeah, so it has been a great honor and receiving so much nuggets of tips from both of you. Yeah. So yeah, that's all for this episode. So we'll see you again every Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursday. So in between Tuesday, Thursday, go and sleep, okay? Go and sleep. Go and sleep. I'll go walk to Pongo, okay?
Okay, all right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Natalie. Thanks, Suzanne. Bye.